Today we are taking Maths Paper 4, Variant 2, May, June 2023. So we've done the part 1, today we're looking at the part 2. So without much ado, let's begin. Let's go to our part 2. Now, part 2 of the question, we're starting from here in part 2 of the question number 4. Okay, here, look at the question. It says the table shows information about the height of 80 children. By the height of 80 children. Now, these are the height. H is lesser than or equal to 1.4 and is greater than 1.2. This is a group data. Okay, this is a group data. And the frequency is 2. H is lesser than or equal to 1.5 and is greater than 1.4. The frequency is 13. H is lesser than or equal to 1.65 and is greater than 1.5. The frequency is 24. H is lesser than or equal to 1.8 and is greater than 1.65. The frequency is 32. H is less than 1.9, lesser than or equal to 1.9 and greater than 1.8. The frequency is 9. Now the first question says, question A, Roman figure 1, say write down the interval containing the median. Median is the middle number. So if there are 80 children, the middle of 80 will be 40th, the 40th and the 41st number. The middle will be 40th and the 41st. The 40th and the 41st number. This will be the median number, right? This is where the middle will be. Okay, so you look at the frequency starting from 2, because this is a group data, you cannot easily tell the median. So you have to add 2 plus this, you get 50, 50 plus this, you get 39. You can see all the way till you get to this place, till we get to this place, is 39, still less than where the median class will be. So the 40th is in this group. The 40th will be in this group, the 40th and the 41st, they are all in this group data. They are in this, because the next number is the 40th. Out of this 32, because up to this place is 39. Up to this place is 39. So the 40th and the 41st, they are somewhere in this frequency. They are in this frequency. So the next number in this frequency make the 40th. The second next one is the 41st. So the group where the median will fall into will be this group, which is H is lesser than or equal to 1.8 and is greater than 1.65. That's it. We move on to the next one. The next question says the Roman figure 2 says calculate an estimate of the mean height. Now to find the mean, we put all the group data in a vertical mode. It's the same thing you see here that they put in a horizontal mode. It's the same thing, I just put them in a vertical mode so it's easier for us to calculate. And then I find the mid value. Mid value means you add the first and the last one, you add them together, you divide by 2. We've done statistics before, you know. You add the first number plus the second one. Okay, if you do this, you get 2.6. 2.6 divided by 2, you get the mid value. It's called mid value, which is 1.3. So 2.6 divided by 2, you get 1.3. Right? So we write down the frequency. The frequency I already give you 2, 13, 24, 32, and 9. So we just repeat what is given, 2, 30, 24, 32, and 9. We put down the frequency. Now, the only thing we do here is to find the mid value of each one. So to find the next mid value is to say 1.4 plus 1.5, which is 2.9, divided by 2, you get 1.45. To find the next mid value for this, you say 1.5 plus 1.65, divided by 2, you get 1.575. To find the next mid value, you say 1.65 plus 1.8, you divide it by 2. If you add them together, you divide by 2, you get 1.725. To find the last mid value for this one, you say 1.8 plus 1.9, you add them. Mid value means the middle number. Find the middle of the two numbers. So you add this plus this, you divide by 2, you get 1.85. Now we get the mid value. The mid values are called the values of x. The mid value in group statistics, they are called the values of x. So we put them down, and then we put our frequency, and then we find f of x. F of x means multiply the frequency times the mid value. So I will say 2 times 1.3, I'll get 2.6. 30 times 1.45, I'll get 80.85. 24 times 1.575, I'll get 37.8. 1.725 multiplied by 32, I'll get 55.20. 1.85 times 9, I'll get 60.this. So the next thing to do is to find sigma f. That means the sum of the frequency. They already told us from the question, they say 80 children. So if you sum all the frequency, you must get 80. Add this 2 plus this plus this plus 24 plus 32 plus 9, you're going to get 80. Okay, because they've already told us. Now we find the sum of the f of x. You add 2.6 plus 80.86 plus 7.8 plus 55.20 plus 60.0, you get 131.1. Now the mean, to calculate the estimate mean, the mean is sigma f of x. That means the sum of all of this vertical column divided by the sum of the frequency column. The sum of the f of x divided by the sum of sigma means sum. The sum of f of x divided by the sum of f. This is equals to 131.10 divided by 80. You get the mean to be 1.63875. So that's our mean. You get 4 marks for being able to harness this table, do this table, and do this calculation and get your final answer. From this table, you get 2 marks. Here, you get 1 mark, and the final answer, you get 1 mark. That gives you your 4 marks. We go to the next question. The next question says, one of these children is chosen at random. So you choose one child at random, calculate the probability that they have a height of 1.4 or less. To have 1.4 or less, so we go back to the table. 1.4, remember 1.4 or less, this one means h is less than 1.5 but is greater than 1.4. Okay? Greater than 1.4. 1.4 or less is from here upward. Here h is less than, okay, they say 1.4 or less. H is less than 1.4, greater than 1.2. So 1.4 or less is only 2. 1.4 or less is only 2. So we are talking about this one. We're talking about 1.4 or less is here. Because you say h is lesser or equal to 1.4. 1.4 or less means lesser than or equal to 1.4. So 1.4 or less is this group. So to find the frequency, you say that is equals to the number of the frequency over the total number of children. The number in that group, which is 2 over the total number of children. So 2 over 80 gives us 1 over 40, which gives us 1 over 40 as our frequency. We get the 1 mark for this question. Now we go to the next question. The next question says, 2 of these children are chosen at random. 2 of these children are chosen at random. Calculate the probability that both children are taller than 1.5 meter, but only one of them is taller than 1.8. Both of them are taller than 1.5. To be taller than 1.5, you say h is lesser than this and greater than this. So to be taller than 1.5 starts from here. To be taller than 1.5 start from this place. To be taller than 1.5 starts from here. But out of the 2 children, only one of them is taller than 1.8. Only one. We don't know which of the 2 children, which one will be taller than 1.5. But at least both of them are taller than 1.5, but only one is taller than 1.6. So we say the probability that the first child is taller, we give all the possibilities. The first child taller than 1.5 but less than 1.8. We see 1.5, look at it, 1.5, taller than 1.5 but less than 1.8 is only this column, 24, and 32. You add them together, you're going to get 56. You're going to get 56. Okay, for one child covers this possibility. At least one of the child covers this possibility. The other child is taller than 1.8. The one that is taller than 1.8 covers this possibility. Only 9 cover this possibility. Now the probability, so the first one of the child is 56. Remember that, because it's 24 plus 32. One of the child's possibilities, because it's taller than 1.5 but less than 1.8. The second child must be taller than 1.8. So the second child's possibility is only 9. So we come here, we say, what are the available possibilities? Is it that the first child is the one that has 56? Is it that the first child is the one that has 56? And if it's the one that has 56, because it's taller than 1.5 but less than 1.8, then his whole probability will be 56 over 80. His whole probability will be 56 over 80. But if the first child is not the one that has 56, it's the one that has 9. If the first child is the one that's taller than 1.8, If it's the one that is taller than, if the first child, because we don't know which of the child that will be taller than 1.8. If the first child is one that is taller than 1.8, his whole probability will be 9 over 80. So is either the first child is 56 over 80, or the first child is because it's selected at random and it's not replaced. So is either it's 56 over 80 or it's 9 over 80. That's the possibility that you have in the first case, the first scenario. The second child will therefore also have 56 and 9, because these are the two possibilities. But in this case, it will be 9 over 79, because one has been taken out. 9 over 79 or 56 over 79. Now here are the possibilities put together in terms of probability. First one being having the first child having the 56 opportunity, because 56 over 80 times. Second one having 9 over 79, or miss plus in probability, or the possibility of the first one will be the one that picked 9, not 56, the one that is taller than 1.8, over 80 times 56, which is taller than 1.5 but less than 1.8, 56 over 79, because this is second scenario. This is second. Okay, this is second, and this is first. Okay, let's cancel this. This is first scenario. This one is first scenario for both cases. First scenario for both cases, for the one that choose first and second for the first child, and first and second for the other child. Okay, first and second for the other child. Okay, this is first for this one, and this is second for this one. First for this one, for this child, and second for the one that choose 56. And this is first for the one that choose 56, and this is second for the one that choose 9. So if you put that together, you get 63. If you do this probability in bracket, you get 63 over 790 plus the same you get for this one, 63 over 790. So if you add this and this together, you get 63 over 395. You get 3 marks for being able to do this probability. Okay, now we move on to the next question. The next question says complete the cumulative frequency table for the heights. Complete the cumulative frequency table for the heights. You know what's cumulative frequency table? Cumulative frequency table, they've given us a certain height. Now this height, the lowest, we say h is lesser than or equal to 1.4. We go to the next one, 1.5. We go to the next one, 1.65. We go to the next one, 1.8. We go to the next one, 1.9. So this is what we have here. This is what is given here. Lesser than or equal to 1.4, lesser than or equal to 1.5, lesser than or equal to 1.65, lesser than or equal to 1.8, lesser than or equal to 1.9. And then we put the first probability is 2. The first frequency is 2. And that 2, which is first frequency, will be this cumulative frequency. The second frequency, let's see, to get the next cumulative frequency, we say 2 plus what? 2 plus 13. To get the next cumulative frequency, we can say 2 plus 13, which will give us 15. Okay? The numbers, we've written them out already. Then the next cumulative frequency, you say this 50 that you got here, plus 24, you get 39, which is this 39. The next cumulative frequency, you say 39 plus 32. 39 plus 32, you get 79. You get 71. Okay? This is the next cumulative frequency. And then the next cumulative frequency will be 71 plus 9. 71 plus 9 will give you 80. This is how we do cumulative frequency. So we give you 80. These numbers, you come and write them down. 50, 39, 71, and 80. So this is what we have here. 15, 39, 79, and 80. So you get 2 marks for being able to compute this number, for being able to compute the cumulative frequency. Is that okay? The next thing is to plot the graph. You see on the grid, draw the cumulative frequency diagram. So on the grid, we draw the cumulative. Well, how do we draw? We begin to trace the point. The first point says trace 1.4 to 2. So we trace somewhere around 1.4, trace it to 2. Remember, this one is 2, here is 4, here is 6, here is 8, and here is 10. So each box is 2 marks on the vertical side. Each box is 2 marks. So when you say 2, trace 1.4 to 2. We put the point here. 1.5, trace 1.5 to what? 1.5, we trace it to 15. Okay? We trace 1.5 to 15. 15 is somewhere here. You put the point here. The next one, trace 1.8, right? No, 1.65. Trace 1.65 to 39. Now we go to the graph. Here is 1.65. Here is 1.6. Here will be 1.65. The middle of 1.6 and 1.7 is 1.65. This place. Okay? Trace it to 39. We go to raise this one. We trace it to 39. 39 is somewhere here. We put the dot here. We trace it to 39. Okay? This is what you do first before you join the line. And then the next one, which one is next? 1.8. So I'm going to trace 1.8 to 79. I'm going to trace 1.8 to 79. So we come here, 1.8 is here. Look at 1.8 on the graph from here. So we go to trace 1.8. 1.8, we go to trace it to 79. 79 is close to 80, so you put the dot here. The middle of the box, the last box, the middle of the last box. You put 79 there. Then the next one, you trace 1.9. You trace it to 80. 1.9, we trace it to 80. 1.9, trace it to 80. We trace it to 80. 80 is here because look at it, it's 80. So 80, you trace it there. After you quietly join the curve. Okay, my curve may not be too absolute, but you join the curve. Quietly join the curve. It's a curve. Don't make straight lines. It's a curve. And then you come quietly to the origin. So this is your cumulative frequency. So this is the first question. We draw the cumulative frequency. The next question says, after you draw the cumulative frequency, you get 3 marks for doing that. You get 3 marks for being able to draw the cumulative frequency. The next thing you do is use your diagram to find an estimate of the interquartile range. We're going to use the diagram to find the estimate of interquartile range. But before you do that, you have to do a little mathematics. Interquartile range is the upper quarter, which we call Q3, minus the lower quarter, which is called Q1. Now we're going to calculate the upper quarter, Q3. Q3 is 3 over 4 times the cumulative frequency. The cumulative frequency total is 80. The cumulative frequency total is 80, the last of the values. It's 80. So you say 3 over 4 times 80, you get what? You get 20 times 3 here. Because 4 go here 1, 4 go into 80, 20. 20 times 3 we get 60. So this 60 is not your answer, okay? You come to the vertical axis, you trace 60 to the cumulative frequency curve. Trace it with broken line, trace it, trace your cumulative 60 for the upper quartile, trace it to the curve. Where you meet the curve, where you reach the curve, trace it down. Where you touch the curve, trace it down and read the value. The value is 1.73. Here is 1.73. So the value is 1.73. Why? Because here, each box is 1. 1.7, 1.71, 1.72, 1.73, 1.74, 1.75, 1.76, 1.77, 1.78, 1.79, 1.8. 1.8 means like 1.80. Okay, so 1.8. So here's 1.73. So you write the value out. Your upper quarter, Q3, is 1.73. You write it out, 1.73. Now you do for your lower quarter. What's your lower quarter? Your lower quarter is the formula is 1 over 4 times the cumulative frequency. Your lower quartile is 1 over 4 times the cumulative frequency. 1 over 4 times CF times cumulative frequency. So if you do that, your cumulative frequency, when we say cumulative frequency, you use the total value of the cumulative frequency, which is 80. So 1 over 4 times 80, you get 20. You don't write 20, we're not using 20. 20 is the value of the vertical. You come here, come to 20 on the vertical, trace it to the graph, trace 20 to your curve, and trace it down. When you trace it down, you get 1.56. Here you get 1.56. You get a value of 1.56. Now this is called your Q1. This is your Q1. Now we found Q3 and we found Q1. Remember, this was your Q3, the value from your Q3. Okay? Now interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1. Interquartile range is this Q3 minus Q1. Remember, our Q3 interquartile range is Q3, which is 1.73 we got for Q3, minus Q1, 1.56 on the vertical axis. This is for the Q3, 1.73 minus 1.56, which gives us 0.17 meter. You get 2 marks for being able to do this question. The next question says we should calculate the 60th percentile. Anytime they say 70th percentile, 80th percentile, 90th percentile, it's very easy. You just say that number over 100 times the cumulative frequency. Okay, 60th percentile means 60 over 100 times the cumulative frequency. When you cancel out, you get 48. You get 48, okay, and that's 2 marks. If they say 90th percentile, you say 90 over 100 times cumulative frequency. If they have said 90th percentile, I would have said 90 over 100, 90 over 100 times 80. If they have asked us for it's not in every exam paper you see 60th. You see 95 percentile. You say 95 over 100 times cumulative frequency. Questions are repeated. They only change values. Always remember that. They only change the values and the rhythms of the question. The scope of the question will change, but the topic remains. The topic where the question comes from remains. And most of the time, the nature of the question remains. Okay? 9 times 7, you get, I think this one would have been 72, right? If it was 90th percentile. But the question says 60th percentile, so our answer is 48. So we'll move on to the next question. So that's all for question 4. Now let's move to question 5. Question 5 is mensuration. Question 5 is mensuration in mathematics, where you do cuboid, cube, where you do cylinder, where you do your cone, where you do your pyramid, prism, and all of these things. Okay, mensuration. Please revise mensuration a lot. There are a lot of mensuration questions in paper 4, year in, year out. Okay, they play with you to see whether you're on top of your game. That's all they do, whether you're on top of the game or whether the game is on top of you. Now, first of all, they give us a cone. This figure you see here is a cone. They've given us the diameter. They say a cone has a base diameter of 8 centimeters and a perpendicular height of 15 centimeters. So the height is 15 and the diameter is 8. So we can find the radius by dividing the diameter by 2, we get 4. So our diameter is 8, our radius will be 4, and our height is 15. They are in centimeters, okay? Now let's see what the question is saying. Say calculate the volume of the cone. Volume of cone is a simple formula which is given as one. Sometimes Cambridge can be very nice. They give you the formula sometimes. So volume of the cone, but always try to know the formulas. Volume of cone is 1 over 3 times the base area. The base area is a circle. If you look at the base area is a circle. Okay? So times the base area times the height times the perpendicular height. So that's why the formula is there. The area of a circle is pi r squared. That is why you see pi r squared here. 1 over 3 pi r squared h. That's the volume of a cone. Okay? Now we go into here. We just substitute our value to this. Because the answer is in centimeter cube, we don't need to convert all the centimeter. If the answer was meter cube, meaning we convert all the centimeter to meter first before we start our calculation. You must watch out the unit of the answer before you start your calculation, so that you know whether you need to do conversion or you don't need to do conversion. Now, since it's in centimeter cube, we don't need to do conversion. So all we need to do is we say volume equals to 1 over 3 times pi. Pi is 3.14, or you say 3.142 times the radius. The radius is 4. We already mentioned that. So you say 4 squared, since the radius is square. You say 4 squared times the height, which is 15. You key this into your calculator, you get 251.2 or 251 point whatever that you get approximately. So we get the volume of the cone. Now the next question says, the next part of the question says a lobe completely covers the curved surface area of the cone. Where is the curved surface area? The body, this body, not the circular area, the curve. You know, a cone is not a triangle, but we just draw it like this for you to be able to have a picture. A cone is a round body. This one is a round body. It's called the curved surface. It's a curved surface. It's a curved surface. So since it's a curved surface, you say a label is used to cover the curved surface of the cone. Now calculate the area of the label as a percentage of the total surface area of the cone. So if they say calculate the area of the label is now the curved surface area because it's used to cover the curve. The label is used to cover the curve, so it becomes the curved surface area. So we're going to calculate the curved surface area of the cone as a percentage of the total surface area. Meaning, we're going to do the curved surface area and we're going to do the total surface area. And then we do curve over the percentage of the total times 100. Okay? That's 100%. This is the formula for total surface area of a cone. Pi r squared plus pi r L. Pi r squared plus pi r L. L is the slant height. L is the slant height of the curved surface. Now the first thing we do, from this cone, we're going to bring out a triangle, a right angle triangle. Here is the radius. This is the center of the circular part of the cone. This is the center. And then here, from the center to the circumference, is the radius. Here is the height. And here is L. We call it L, the curved slant height. We call it the slant height of the cone. It's L. So if you bring out as a triangle, we have here the height, H, 15, radius 4, and the slant at L. So if you use Pythagoras theorem, you find L first. We have to find L first. So L square equals to 4 square plus 50 square. Use Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so this will give us L square equals to this, and L equals to 50.5. So we get L. It is when you get L, you can calculate the curved surface area. If you don't get L, you cannot calculate the curved surface area. So we bring L into the formula of curved surface area. The curved surface area, S is surface, A is area. The curved surface area formula is pi arrow L, which I wrote here. Pi arrow L. Okay, now pi, the value of pi is 3.14. The value of the radius is 4. And the value of the curved length is 50.4, which we already obtained here. 50.4. So if you compute this, you get 194.68. Key into your calculator, you get 194.68 as what? The curved surface. Now let's find the total surface area. Before we can find the curved surface as a percentage of total surface area, now it's time for us to find the total surface area. We call it TSA. Total surface area is pi arrow square plus pi arrow L. So pi arrow square is 3.14 times the radius square. Plus, no need to, because I already done the curved surface area, so no need to begin to compute again. Just put the value here, plus 194.68. You see, I try to show it here that the whole of this formula has been computed. So we put the value here. So we only compute this one. We say 3.144 times 4 square. Everything gives us 50.24. Plus this value, we get 244.92. So these are total surface area. This 244.92 becomes our total surface area. Now, the question says, calculate the area of the label as a percentage of the total surface area. Meaning, the area of the label, like I said, because they use the label to wrap the curved surface. So the area of the label is called the curved surface area. So it will be a percentage. So you say the curved surface area over the total surface area times 100, because they say calculate the area of the label, which is the curved surface area, as a percentage of the total surface area. So you say the curved surface area over the total surface area multiplied by 100. Because any percentage, you have to multiply by 100. So we say the curved surface area, which we got earlier on, which is 194.68, divided by 244.92 times 100 over 1. So that will give us 79%. 79.4 or 79.49 or 79.5%. This is 5 marks. Okay, this is 5 marks of the question paper. Now we go to the next question as quickly. The B part of the question, question 5. The B part of question 5 says, the B part of question 5 says, okay, the B part of question 5 says, sorry, okay, for that English. It says an empty cylindrical container has a radius of 0.45 meter. 0.45 meter. Now, 300 liters of water is poured into the container at a rate of 375 milliliter. Now, you take note. Here is liter. This is milliliter. So, I have to convert this liter to milliliter to be 300,000, because I will multiply here by 1,000, because to make them same. This is 375 milliliter per second. This is like the speed of pouring the water. This is the speed of pouring the water. This is the volume of the water. Okay, this is the speed of pouring the water. This is the volume of water. So find the time taken in minutes and seconds for all the water to be poured into the container. Now the volume in terms of the distance, I can say VD. Volume in terms of the distance. You first of all, and then this is speed. This is speed. Speed is equals to distance over time, right? So you make time the subject, because they say we should find the time taking. So you say time equals to volume the distance in terms of volume, the distance the water cover in terms of volume, okay, not VD, dV. The distance it cover in terms of volume, the water cover in terms of volume, over the speed. So the distance it cover in terms of water cover, the distance the water cover, let's say at this point, the water got to this point. So what it covered, the total volume of the distance the water covered is 300 liters. So I'll change it to milliliter because the speed is in milliliter. So to change it to milliliter, I'll say 300 liter times 1,000, I'll get 300,000 milliliter. We will get 300,000 milliliter. So I write that there, which is the distance the water covered, 300,000 milliliter over the speed. The speed of pouring the water is 375 milliliter per second. So I'll say over the speed. So if you divide this by this, you get 800 seconds. So, but the answer, they want us to put it in minutes and in seconds. So you divide this one by 60. If you divide this one by 60, not 60. Okay, sorry. If you divide this one by 60, you get what? You get 13 minutes and 20 seconds. You get 13 minutes and 20 seconds. If you're able to do this, you get 3 marks for your Cambridge exam. Now we move on to the next question. The next question says, calculate the height of the water in the container. Calculate the height of the water in the container. So you cannot calculate the height without knowing the volume. So the volume formula, since it's a cylinder, you say volume of a cylinder. You have to see why. Now they did give you the formula. Why I say you have to know all the formulas for mensuration. If you don't know now, you will not be able. Volume of cylinder, you have to put the formula here. Volume equals to pi r square h. Volume equals to pi r square h. Now this volume is 300,000 milliliter. Remember, we changed it to 300. Instead of 300 liters, we changed it to 300,000 milliliter. Is equals to pi times. Now this radius, we multiply by 100 to change it to centimeter. Because we change the volume is not in liter. So we have to change the radius from meter to centimeter. From meter to centimeter first for our calculation. Okay, so we change this one from meter to centimeter by multiplying with 100. If you multiply 0.45 times 100, you get 45 centimeter. So we come here, we slot it in, the radius becomes 45 square, and the height is what we're looking for. So you substitute, you say height, make h the subject of formula. Height is whatever you get from here. You're going to use it to divide this. So you say h is 300,000 divided by whatever we get from here. Whatever you get from here, first of all you say 45 square times 3.14. Whatever you get, which is 6,358.5. So you divide it by this, you get your what? You get your 47 centimeter, 47.2 centimeter. Now you have to change it back to meter. Okay, change it back to meter by, divide this centimeter by 100 to get meter. So you get 0.472 meter. And you get your 3 marks. Is that okay? Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay. If we're too fast, we pause the video for a while sometimes and check. The next question, question number 6, is a sequence has n term of a sequence has an n term n over 2n plus 3. Find the first 3 terms of the sequence. So what you do for the first term, you substitute n equal to 1 in this formula. Okay. So what I do, where n is, I put 1 here for the first term. And then 2n, I say 2 times 1, I put bracket 1, plus 3. So you get what? 1 over 2 times 1 is 2, plus 3 is 5. So we get 1 all over 5. They say leave your answer in fraction. They say give your answer in a fraction. So I get 1 all over 5. We get 1 all over 5. For the second one, the second term, n will be equal to 2. So where you have n here on top, you put 2 there. Where you have 2n, you say 2 times 2, because n equal to 2, plus 3. So you say 2 over, you multiply this one, 4 plus 3, you get 7. So you get 2 over 7 for the second term. The third term, n will be equal to 3. Put 3 in place of n. So you say 3 over 2 times 3, which is 6. 2 times 3, 6, plus 3, 9. So we get 3 over 9. Okay, they did say we should simplify to the next term. We just keep our values there. We get 2 marks for being able to do this. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Now let's go to the 6a Roman figure 2. It said the sixth term of the sequence is 12 over 25. 12 over the sixth term. Find the value of k. Okay, where you put this, you put k there. Where we are putting 1 in place of n, because they find the value of k. You say k over 2, instead of 2n, you say 2k plus 3 equal to what? They say the k term equal to what? This value. So you equate it to this value. You say equal to 12 over 25. So once you slot k into the formula, and then you equate it to this value that they've given you. So the next is to cross multiply. You multiply this by this. Multiply this by this, we get 25 times k, we get 25k, and then equal to, you cross multiply to this side, 12 times k, you get 24k, 12 times 2k, you get 24k, and 12 times 3, you get plus 36. Then we bring this 24k to join k this way, it becomes minus. When you take this one to go to the left side, it becomes minus, because 25k minus 24k equal to 36. So 25k minus 24k, you get k left. 1k means k. 1k means k, okay? So you say k equals to 36. You put it there, you get your 2 marks for being able to do this. So we move on to the next question. This one is a bit long. This particular question. So find the end term of this sequence. This sequence is a cubic sequence. It's a cubic sequence. So I recommend you to go watch our cubic sequence video in Wisdom Academy. Go to our YouTube channel, Wisdom Academy. Like, subscribe, and share, and watch the cubic sequence part 3. It's called sequence part 3. Sequence part 3. Okay? Look for part 3 of our sequence video. You watch cubic, exponential, and geometrical sequence part 3. So go watch it. Then you'll be able to understand how we solve this question. If you don't, you may not understand what we're going to do here, because we're going to like really run through this question. It's a lot. Please pause this video, go watch our sequence part 3 in Wisdom Academy YouTube video. Now they've given us a sequence. They say 6, 30, 32, 69, and 130. So we're going to find the first level difference. We get 7. Here, between the difference between this and this, we get 90. That's 32 and 30, we get 90. The difference between 69 and this, we get 37. The difference between 130 and 69, we get 61. So you can see they are not same. So we find a second level difference. We find the difference between 90 and 7, we get 12. We find the difference between 37 and 90, we get 18. We find the difference between 61 and 37, you get 34, right? We get 24. Now you can see the difference is not still the same. So we do it again. We find another difference, which is called the third level difference. So we find the difference between 80 and 12, we get 6. We find the difference between 24 and 80, we get 6. Now you see that we have the same difference. We now have the same difference. And it was in the third level, which is called the third level difference. Now, in a cubic sequence, you write the geometrical cubic relation. A n raised to power 3 plus b n raised to power 2 plus c n plus d. This is the connotation. Then we will begin to, in the first position, let's find a, b, c. When n is 1, in the first position 1, n is 1. If n is 1, 1 to the power of 3 is 1. 1 times a is a. You put a here. When n is 1, 1 square is 1. 1 times b, you get b. You put b here. When n is 1, 1 times c, you put c here. If there's no n here, you put d here. So in the first term, we have a plus b plus c plus d. Then when n is 2, you say 2 raised to power 3, you get 8. So it becomes 8a. You put 8a here. N is 2, 2 square, 2 raised to power 2, you get 4. 4 times b, you get 4b. That's how I got the 4b here. When n is 2 times c, you get 2c here. That's how we got 2c here. And there's nothing here, you just put the d here. Now, in the case, in the third position, n is 3. So if n is 3, 3 raised to power 3, you get 27. So that's how you got 27a in this place. And n is 3, you get 3 square, you get 9. 9 times b, you get 9b. That's how we got 9b here. And then 3 times c, you get 3c here. And then you put d here. N is 4. 4 raised to power 3, you get 64. That's how we got 64a here, this place. So we have just substitute the value of n here, and we got, so that's how we got everything here. Then the next thing to do is to find the difference also, just the way we did. Find the difference between the first term and second term. So if you find the difference, 8a minus a, you get 7a. 4b minus b, you get 3b. And 2c minus c, you get a c. D minus d is 0. So no need to write 0 here. So the next one, 27a minus 8a, you get 90a. And 9b minus 4b, you get 5b. And 3c minus 2c, you get a c here. Okay, you got the difference. Now the next one is to find the difference between this and this. 64a minus 27, you get 36. 37a. 16 minus 9, you get 7b. And 4c minus 3c, you get a c. Then for this difference, you get 125 minus 60a minus 64a, you get 61a. 25b minus 60b, you get 9b. 5c minus c, you get this, you get c. So the difference is still not same. You find another difference, just like we are doing when we are doing here. So you say 19a minus 7a, you get 12a. 5 minus 3, you get 2b. Then you come here, c minus c is 0, so you don't need to put c here. 37a minus 19a, you get 80a. And 7b minus 5b, you get 2b. c minus c is 0. And then here you get 61a minus 37a, you get 24a. And 9 minus 7b, 9b minus 7b, you get 2b. Now, the next c, we find the difference between here and here. You say 80a minus 12a, you get 6a. And 2b minus b is 0. You don't need to write 0. So the only difference is 6a. And if you also find this 24a minus 80a, you get 6a. So you see the difference are same now. Just like we got the difference same 6, 6. So when you get 6, 6, you now compare position to position. 6a equal to 6. So in the first equation, you come here, you say 6a. If you compare here and this position, you say 6a equal to 6. Divide both sides by 6, a equal to 1. Not 0, okay? You are not subtracting. You say divide here by 6, divide here by 6. Divide here by 6, and then divide here by 6. We'll get 1, right? We'll get 1, a equal to 1. Once you get a equal to 1, we can come here, we come to this place now. We equate to this place. Okay, position, same position to same position. 12a, a is 1. You say 12 times 1 is 12. Plus 2b. So you say equal to 12, which is what we did here. 12a plus 2b equal to 12. So 12, a is already 1. You found a is 1. So 12 times 1 plus 2b equal to 12. You move this 12 to this side, become 12 minus 12, 0. 2b equal to 0. Divide both sides by 2, b equal to 0. That's how we got b equal to 0. Now you got b equal to 0. Then we're going to find the next one. C. To find C, you come and equate this place to this place, to 7. Okay, you already found A is 1, 7a. If you substitute 1 here, it becomes 7a. B is 0, so here will be 0. So equal to 7. So C will be equal to 7. 7 minus 7. C will be equal to, look at it, 7a plus 3b plus c equal to 7. Here is 0, because we got b to be 0. So 0 times 3 is 0. Plus c equal to 7. So you move this 7 to the right. C will be equal to 7 minus 7 equal to 0. C is also 0. Now we're going to find D. To find D, you're going to equate the whole of this one. The whole of this one to 6. You're going to equate it to this 6, to this one. So if you say A plus B plus C plus D equal to 6, A is 1, B is 0, C is 0, D, you say plus D because we're looking for D, equal to 6. Equal to what? 6. So you now move you say D equal to, you move this one to this side. It becomes 6 minus 1. D is 5. Now, after found it, you now come and substitute. A is 1. So you will now have n squared. 1 n squared is same as n squared. 1 n squared is same as what? N squared. That's how I got this n squared. N cubed, sorry. 1 n cubed equal to n cubed. That's how we got this n cubed. Now here, b is 0. Everything here will be 0. If b is 0, 0 times n squared will be 0. C is 0. 0 times c will be 0. And D is 5. We found D to be 5. Look at it. We found D to be 5. So you say plus 5. So n to the power of 3 plus 5. That's the n term of that sequence. So it's a bit long. I don't know why Cambridge bring this type of question and they put for 2 marks. This question deserves like 5 or 6 marks. Nothing less than 6 marks for this question. But I don't know why Cambridge keep putting it as just 2 marks. Anyway, this type of question, my advice for you, you leave it first, do other questions. When you finish, you have time, you come back to this type of question. Because it will definitely, it's just 2 marks, it will definitely take all your marks away from you, and all your time away from you during the exam hall. The second question is a geometrical sequence. You see, it's by division. You divide by this, we get 2, right? You divide the second 10 divide by, the first 10 divided by second one, we get 2. This divided by this, you get 2. This divided by this, you get 2. This divided by this, you get 2. So the n term of a geometrical sequence is a raised to power n minus 1. A is the first term, which is 100. A is the first term, which is 100. R is the common ratio. Because for geometrical sequence, we don't say common difference, we say common ratio. You can watch part 3 or so of the video. I treated the cubic sequence together with geometrical sequence. Okay, we treated the cubic sequence together with geometrical sequence. So the common ratio is the ratio of the second divided by the first. The ratio of the second divided by first. 50 divided by 100, you get 1 all over 2. So 1 all over 2 for r raised to power n minus 1. Now I can flip this one and I flip this one. So if I flip this one will become 2. But this one, instead of become n minus r, will become 1 minus n. So if I flip this one, it becomes 2 here. This one becomes what? Instead of n minus 1, it becomes 1 minus n. So this becomes your geometrical sequence. You write this as your n term of the geometrical sequence. You write it like this, and you get your 2 marks. Okay? Now we move to question 7. Question 7 says, this is a combination of Berry, trigonometry, Berry and trigonometry. Berry and trigonometry. Say the diagram shows the straight roads between town A, town B, and town C. AC equals to 60 km, CB equals to 87 km, and B is due east of A. If they say B is due east of A, meaning A, you can see from the north here to here will be 90 degrees. Because they say due east of A. The whole of this will be 90 degrees. So how we were able to find this value, because they say this B is due east of A. So it will be 90. So 90 minus this 38, you get 52. 90 minus 38, here is to find this angle, you say 90, the whole 90 minus 38, you get 52. So we got 52. And let's see what they're going to show, that ACB is 95.1, correct to 1 decimal place. Okay? Okay. We know this place. We don't know here, but they've told us the value. They say we should prove it. How is 91.5? Okay? We're going to prove it. But we don't also know here. So before we can prove here, obviously, because at first we didn't know this one, okay? At first, except you're going to calculate this. If you calculate this using the cosine rule, you get this one. Then you can say this over sine this, or sine this over this equals to sine this over this. But however, you can also alternatively find this angle using sine rule. So here I use sine rule, or we use sine rule to achieve that. We use sine rule to achieve that. Now what did we do? We simply say sine of this angle, sine alpha, I call it alpha. Okay, sine alpha over the side that is facing it, which is 60 km, over 60 km, is equal to sine 52, the one we already know, because we know the side also, we know the angle. Equals to sine 52 over 87 km, right? Then we cross multiply. If we cross multiply, you get 87 sine alpha. 87. If you cross multiply here and here, you say 87 times sine alpha is equal to 60 sine 52. So if you make sine alpha the subject and make sine alpha the subject, you get this divided by this, and you get 0.5. So you find the sine inverse of to get alpha, you find the sine inverse of 0.5435, which gives us 32.9. So now that we know this angle 32.9, we can find this one by saying sum of all the angles equals to 180. 52 plus 32.9, whatever you get, take it away from 180. See, we call the one we're looking for, we call it theta. So theta, which is ACB, is equals to plus 32.9 plus 52 equals to 180. So theta equals to 82.9. If you add this and this together, you get 84.9 equals to 180. Theta equals to 180 minus, you bring this one to this side, become 180 minus 84.9, and then you get your theta equals to 95.1, which is what they say you should prove, that this angle is 95.1. We've succeeded in doing that. We've proven that this angle is 95.1. And if you're able to do that, you get 5 marks. Okay? If you're able to do this, you get 5 marks. Now let's go to the next question. It says, without stopping, a car travels from town A to town C, then to town B. So the car travels from town A, from town A to town C, and then without stopping, he moves to town B. Okay? Now let's take a look at what the question is going to, let's pay attention to what the question is going to ask us. And then to town B, before returning directly to town A. Before the guy returns directly, so there is a distance. Look at all the distance we move from here to here, 60 kilometers. From here to here, 87 kilometers. And from here to here, we don't know. We have to find using cosine rule. We have to find using cosine rule in trigonometry. Okay, you find this distance remaining. Okay, using cosine rule. Now we don't know. They did tell us we have to do that. Now to do that is what we have to do by saying cosine rule d square. That side you're looking for, which is this side you're looking for. You can call it c square or d square, whatever you want to call it. Okay, is equal to 60 square, which is this one that is given to us. 60 square plus 87 square, right? Minus 2 times 60 times 87. Remember the formula? Cos the angle between these two. Cos the angle between these two distances, which is 95.1. Which is 95.1. So you say, when you key them in here, 60 square plus 87 square minus 2 times 60 times 87 cos 95.1. You key, you get approximately, because you get 109.9, which is approximately 110 kilometers. So this distance approximately becomes 110 kilometers. The distance this guy took to return back to point A. Okay, so we know all the distances now. The question says, calculate the average speed of the car for this journey. Give your answer in kilometers per hour. Remember, average speed is total distance over time. Average speed, okay. Average speed is total distance, the total distance traveled over the time taking. The total distance traveled, average speed is equal to total distance over total time taking. Now, we have to calculate the total distance. The last distance is not the total distance. So if you use only this distance to do your work, you're going to fail. We have to add 60 plus 87 plus 110 as our total distance. Okay, to find the total distance, you say 110 kilometers plus 87 kilometers plus 60 kilometers. Over the time, remember the time is 3 hours 20 minutes. This 20 minutes we have to convert to hour. Okay, to convert 20 minutes to hour, you say 20 divided by 60. To convert minutes to hour, you say 20 divided by 60. 20 divided by 60, you get 0.33. You get 0.33. Okay, you add it to 3 hours, it becomes 3.33. That's how we got our total. You add it to these 3 hours, 0.33 plus 3, you get 3.33. So you now say your total distance, which is 257, okay, your total distance, which is 257 kilometers that the car has traveled, okay, divide by the total time taken, which is 3.33, and it will give us 77.2 kilometers per hour. This will be the speed of the average speed of the car in the entire journey. If you do this, you get 6 marks. If you're able to do this, you get 6 marks. Okay, you can see how Cambridge combine speed, combine trigonometry, combine Berry and everything, you know. So it's they just go to play with you. Okay, they just go to play with you. So with this, we come to the end of this our section. Thank you for joining us.